Hello, and welcome to a very, very special edition of the Caped Informers. I'm Christian Strand. I'm joined today by my good friend Dan Lee. How you doing today, Dan?
I'm marvelous now that I'm here with you, Christian.
Awesome. Me and Dan have decided to spend the day together on Valentine's Day. Our normal co-host Brady is off gallivanting with some beautiful young lass, so we're here to spend it with you guys. You know, the people we really care about. Right, Dan? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just got lost in your eyes.
Oh, he's such a charmer. All right, Dan. So today, guys, we're going to talk about some of the things that we love, such as comics. That's something we've kind of strayed. We've been talking about comic book movies and TV shows. Like, we've been talking about this golden age we live in right now. Well, we really do live in a golden age of comic book media. And
Yes,
the things we kind of strayed away from are the comics themselves. So we figured today we could talk about, you know, some comics that we're enjoying, current story arcs, former story arcs, writers, artists, that sort of thing. You know, get you guys kind of caught up in what we're reading, what you should be reading, what you should think about me reading, that sort of thing. So, yeah, Dan, why don't you start us off? Why don't you tell us one of the books you're currently enjoying, who's writing it, what you like about it, that sort of thing.
Well, if you haven't picked a copy of it up yet or taken a look at the series, Superman and Wonder Woman, issue 5 just came out this week. The whole series is written by, Charles Soule?
Charles Soule, yeah.
Soule, and it is absolutely fantastic.
It's funny that you mentioned that today on All Days, talking about Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. And I remember when you first see in that, I can't remember what Justice League number it was, when Superman and Wonder Woman first kiss, and it was like really revealed that they were together and they were the ultimate power couple. And that was very controversial in the world because when we think of Superman and relationships, who do we think of?
Lois, Lana.
Yeah, Lois and Lana.
Yeah.
Especially if you sat through Smallville, you had to sit through so much Lana. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. But when you think about Superman, instantly the next two people you think of are Lex Luthor and Lois Lane. Maybe Jimmy Olsen and his watch, but, that's a little... but,
Super Horse.
Crypto.
Yeah.
Supergirl. Laura Vandervoot.
She was pretty good at Smallville, actually.
She was. She was really good in Ted in her, 15 seconds she was in that movie. All right, yeah, but back to, Superman not being with Lois, that was one of the big things the New 52 was trying to do. Trying to switch up, character continuities and dissolving all the DC marriages, right? So now we got Superman, the most powerful being, if you want to call him a being, the Kryptonian on the planet, with the Amazonian princess, the most powerful female on the planet. So we had formed this super couple. And, initially, I'm telling you, I did not enjoy it. I thought it was, I don't know. It's just, that response where you see something that's so new and, it's something unknown and you fight against it, that sort of thing. And I'm not going to lie, Jeff Johns' writing of it on the Justice League title, I didn't enjoy that much. But once Charles Soule came out with this comic, and it's illustrated by Tony Daniel, right? Yeah, Tony Daniel.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, and Tony Daniel does fantastic work. Batman, Rest in Peace with Grant Morrison. He started on the New 52 Detective Comics. His artwork is fantastic. And I think you're looking at the issue right now. That it looks fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. Some of the best art that I've seen ever since I started reading.
Yeah, once Charles Soule jumped on the title, and Charles Soule is the hardest working man in comics. He is writing 90% of the comics that are being written right now. He's writing Superman, Wonder Woman, and he just released a new She-Hulk this week. I know he's writing another book for Marvel. The Inhumans. I know he's writing Thunderbolts for Marvel. He's also writing Swamp Thing for DC. All this, and he's a lawyer. So it's just,
just a lot under his belt, it seems. And
he'd be a lucky motherfucker to be his Valentine.
Ooh.
I bet you he plans a shitload of stuff. Probably fits that in his schedule.
All sorts of fantasies that easy run through.
So when I remember the reaction when the Superman Wonder Woman book was first announced was like largely negative, because we thought we're going to get a romance comic. And I thinking about romance comics. What comes to your mind? What did you think we were going to see? If I told you we're going to get a Superman Wonder Woman romance comic.
Ooh. This for me personally?
Yeah.
Honestly, just a whole lot of exploring like relationship problems and questions like that, and how it pertains to those who have actual superpowers. For example, like if you're fighting to see who needs to do the dishes today, like would you brawl? Would you brawl or something? Or Wonder Woman, now that Superman is tapped to Wonder Woman, he doesn't have a chance to be unfaithful, because lasso of truth, bam, you're done for.
You are fucked.
Yeah.
That is true. If you step out on Wonder Woman, man, not only is she going to kick your ass, because she's a trained Amazonian woman, and she's the best warrior the Amazonians got. Mm-hmm. Superman is untrained.
Yeah.
Not unchained, he's untrained. You know what I mean? But, I mean, he does have training with certain things. Maybe not in the New 52 Superman iteration, but over the continuity, he's picked up training. Other people have trained him. But we're talking this version, you get his ass kicked.
Yeah. It's also part of his personality, too. But, like, if you look at 99% of his fights, he always gets hit first. And he always gets, like, dazed, too.
Yeah, he does.
Instances.
But you can't keep him down. That's what the thing is Superman is.
He just keeps coming back.
So, yeah, that's what I had the similar fear when I heard the idea of a romance comic coming out. I was at Boston Comic Con, and I remember Charles Soule wasn't there, but Tony Daniel was. And the thing he said was that it's going to be a romance comic, and we're going to see sex. That's what he said. We have not seen any sex 5 issues in. Spoilers. But we indeed have seen plenty of friggin' action.
Oh, yes.
Things I was not expecting. I was thinking we were going to see a lot of alter ego, Clark Kent, Diana Prince, that kind of stuff. We've seen so minimal amount of that.
Not to write out the alter ego stuff, because we do see those on several occasions. We have a little spicing of Batman. We'll come back to Batman probably a little bit. Little Bruce,
yeah, see, when I'm talking about the alter egos, I'm talking about like their relationship. I thought we were going to see like Diana Prince and Clark Kent going out on dates. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. Yeah. But now we see. I didn't even think about like the superpowered side of this relationship. Clark Kent is what we always refer to as the Boy Scout. You know what I mean? Now his girlfriend is fighting side by side with him. So is his mind going to be in the right place? He's going to try to protect her when he knows, and Diana knows she can handle herself, and everyone knows she can. But Clark is that kind of guy. You know what I mean? He's a stand-up guy, hold the door open kind of guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and 5 issues in, I think we're really starting to see the friction that that's coming from those conflicting personalities between the two.
Diana one, she don't want it. 2, she doesn't need it.
Right.
But she's not used to that sort of kind of male interaction, And the best thing about this comic definitely is 5 issues in, Soule and Daniel have totally showcased some of Wonder Woman's universe and Superman's universe, and we've seen a bevy of villains already 5 issues in, and we've seen some ultra superpowered people fight that we never get to see fight. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
And highlight being issue 2, spoilers here, Apollo, who is now assumed the sun god. He's now assumed for Zeus.
He has assumed the mantle.
And he goes in and he Superman starts talking shit to him. He's like, "Oh, so you're the new piece of ass Diana's banging," that kind of sort of thing. Kind of gives Superman some shit. I mean, I guess if you're a god, you can give Superman some shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially if you're Apollo and
you think you're the top of the crop because
you're top dog.
Yeah,
you're top dog of the top dogs.
So the fight starts, right, and Apollo gets a pretty good punch on Superman, and then Superman comes back at him, and then Apollo, being the god of the sun,
flavor blasts him.
blasts Superman with a giant ray of sun, thinking that would do something, and it had the absolute opposite effect that that Apollo intended. Yeah. Because as we all know,
Superman, like on Earth, has his powers from the yellow sun.
The radiation of the sun, his cells absorb it.
So now he's got like an instant boost of it.
He comes up, he's like this fucking supercharged rabbit. He goes down and he does the kind of move from Injustice Gods Among Us where he punches Apollo up through a fucking mountain.
Yeah.
And just like these kind of matchups that we never get to see. The first issue, at the very end, we get to see Wonder Woman Doomsday. You know what I mean? Those are two characters you don't get to see interact often. And the showcasing of both their rogues galleries and both their mythos coming together in one book is really interesting. And one of my favorite parts of this book started actually in issue 4, where we're really starting to see because the relationship has now gone public. Mm-hmm. A picture has surfaced. We're now really seeing the reaction from the Justice League to this relationship.
Oh man, that was a great series of panels. Just showing all their different reactions to it. That was absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah.
If you know anything about the different personalities of the Justice Leagues, you can really see them really shine in reaction to like, oh man, our coworkers, our teammates, like the ones that like,
they're shitting where they're eating.
Yeah, the two top dogs that you don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
Are now like together. Like
now besides this, the Superman Wonder Woman comic written by Charles Soule. Like I was saying in the beginning, I wasn't completely sold on the relationship. Mm-hmm. The other thing that spawned, which I absolutely loved the beginning of this series before the Forever Evil tie-ins, was the idea of Justice League America. Have you gotten to read Justice League America?
I've read the beginnings of it, the formation of it under Amanda Waller, but not much beyond there. I think I read their first confrontation with the Justice League and when they meet up with Justice League Dark as well, leading up to Trinity. But it was around Trinity then War. That I discontinued catching up on JLA.
Yeah, like Johns comes in, Jeff Johns. He's writing the Justice League comic. He has the formation of Superman, Wonder Woman, and now the relationship is released. All right, it's out in the public air, and Amanda Waller, one of the Justice League's kind of governmental adversaries, if you will. Would you say that's a proper description of Amanda Waller?
I'd say so because we're accustomed to citing the heroes in these comics, but if we put ourselves into these comics, like insert ourselves, then Amanda Waller would be technically our government representative. Yeah. So
she's antagonistic to them, but her case makes sense. You have the two most powerful beings on the planet together. And what happens if they go bad? They could just take over. So what Amanda Waller does is she decides to form a Justice League of America. A Justice League that can be used by the government to counter the other Justice League to say if Superman, Wonder Woman, they break up and shit goes awry. Kind of like in Flashpoint Paradox where Aquaman banged Wonder Woman and then the Themyscirans and the Atlanteans went to war, and that was fucking awesome.
It was. And then we found out that compared to the combined might of Atlantis and Themyscira, the entire rest of the DC universe cannot stack up against those two powerhouses.
They really are powerhouses.
Yeah.
You know who could? The Bat Family.
The Bat Family.
The Bat Family alone. But in seriousness, talking back to the formation of the Justice League of America. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm trying to think back to that original roster that Waller came on with. So to counter Superman, they bring in Martian Manhunter,
Right.
which had largely been largely unexplored in the New 52.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of iteration of Martian Manhunter is a little more dangerous than his former counterpart that we're used to from the Justice League animation, Justice League comics, that kind of genre. So this one, he's interesting.
He's a lot more detached from humanity.
Yeah,
Just personality-wise, very borderline sociopathic, I think.
You could say that, I guess. Yeah, his character is different, so he's to counter Superman. I love that matchup.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Anyone would watch that fight. To counter Batman, Catwoman is brought in.
Not just Catwoman, but estranged lover Catwoman.
Estranged lover Catwoman.
Jilted lover Catwoman.
Jilted lover. Here we are talking about lovers again
Mm-hmm.
on Valentine's Day. I love the Catwoman-Batman relationship. Batman is a noir character. He's born in the shadows. He's the detective. He's the Humphrey Bogart, if you will. And every one of those old noir films, those noir writings, those old detective stories had the femme fatale.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have literally the feline fatale, if you will.
Right.
That is a terrible pun. I should...
Feline fatale. That started
God,
with...
no wonder I am with you on Valentine's Day right now.
I know. But you know what, man? There's no one else I'd rather be with. And for all you single folks out there, take that to heart,
Yeah.
When all else fails.
Grab a comic, grab your bro.
Yeah. And a tub of Ben & Jerry's.
A tub of Ben & Jerry's each. Some Buff Chick pizza.
Yeah.
And some beer.
And you got a recipe for success.
And then record a podcast.
Yeah.
Where the fuck are we?
Yeah.
All right, back to the roster.
Anyways.
All right, back to the JLA roster. So, we had Catwoman for Batman, Martian Manhunter for Superman. My favorite matchup.
Vibe.
No, not... yeah, there was Vibe for Flash. Vibe and Flash. No one cares. I like Flash, Vibe, well, whatever. I'm not a big Vibe guy.
Right.
Yeah, they did have Vibe Flash.
Yeah,
My favorite was Hawkman for Aquaman.
Ooh.
I think that's a great
Absolutely. Pound for pound. Just
matchup.
two straight up... It's two straight up infighters right there. So,
Aquaman's trained. He's using his trident. He has all his abilities, his super strength, his armor, and then we got Hawkman, who's literally just crazy. He's savage. That's what his comic title's always been: the Savage Hawkman.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his friggin' he's brutal. That's what I would love to see that head-to-head matchup.
Two absolutely merciless fighters, just going all out.
Yeah. Then the next one I can remember is a little weird. We got Stargirl versus Cyborg.
Stargirl, is that her name?
Stargirl, yeah. Stargirl.
No, Power Girl's one of the cleavage. Okay.
Power Girl is the cleavage, but she's also Supergirl's clone.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So she's with Cyborg. Whatever. And who's left in the Justice League? We got Green Lantern with Simon Baz, Green Lantern versus Hal Jordan, Green Lantern.
Right.
And who's left in the Justice League? Who is left, Daniel? I think that's it. I think we got everybody.
That's all.
Yeah.
7? 6? 6? That's all.
I thought there were 7. Who the hell are we missing?
Batman, Wonder Woman. Oh, Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Who the hell was brought in to counter Wonder Woman? Jeez, I can't remember who was brought in.
I can't remember either. For Justice League of America?
Yeah, you know what? That's our trivia question of the week.
All right, yeah.
Who did Amanda Waller bring in to counter Wonder Woman for the Justice League of America?
Wow.
We don't even know the friggin' answer. Yes. So if you get it to us, we'd love to know. All right. So yeah, Amanda Waller forms this team, Justice League of America. That first initial run was a lot of fun. That led up to the Trinity War, which has led up to Forever Evil, which is actually the next comic I wanted to talk about. So, Forever Evil is the first New 52 major cross-wide event for DC. It's highly enjoyable. The Justice League is dead. supposedly.
Supposedly dead. I'm not sure how many spoilers you want to give out here.
Yeah, the Justice League is dead, and the crime syndicate has taken over. The villains have taken over, and now we've got Lex Luthor coming to the forefront in his kind of injustice game. He's kind of informing to kind of go against the crime syndicate to, I wouldn't say necessarily, to restore order to the world, if you will. From what we know from solicits from future comics, Daniel, right? It looks like that Lex Luthor is going to be joining the Justice League after this event because issue 7 is the final issue of Forever Evil, and after that, the Fallout, we saw the cover for Justice League, and it's Lex Luthor is the head of the JLA. Justice League in general.
It's quite an interesting shift, you know. You have Catwoman, you know, jumping over from JLA to Justice League to you know, the big leagues, and then you know Lex and Bizarro, like talk about another Valentine's Day relationship.
Yeah. Lex and Bizarro.
Master slave for all you BDSM fans out there.
Oh man.
Read into that iteration of Forever Evil as far as you want. Besides that, it's going to be a very fun lineup, you know, because you have a superpowered Justice League that is now not sympathetic at all to Batman.
Yeah, very true. We got Luthor at the top. No Superman and no Flash because we have Cold and Luthor.
Right.
So that's going to be a huge team dynamic shift. Interesting shit, man. Yeah. All right, let's talk about Marvel Comics because we kind of been focusing a little bit too much on DC right here for a moment.
That's right.
Let's just talk about because we were talking earlier about Charles Soule. I know She-Hulk 1 came out this week, and we were saying Charles Soule produces every comic that's on the market. He pretty much does. So a little bit about Marvel Comics. If you had to pick one Marvel comic you're enjoying right now, what would it be?
Currently I've been exploring Amazing X-Men, and
all right, who writes that one?
Let's see if I can remember here.
I think it's Jason Aaron, isn't it?
Yep, that's absolutely correct.
Yeah, all right, Jason Aaron. I know he writes Thor.
Yeah.
So I know if you haven't picked up Thor, pick up Thor. It's been a great read so far. They've been exploring kind of like a younger Thor, an older Thor, and a present-day Thor. And those kind of stories are what make up every different week. And Jason Aaron is... I had never heard of him until recently, but I don't know if he came on the scene. Maybe I just have never heard of him before, but as of late, he's pretty strong. He's got Amazing X-Men, and he's got that. And I think, he's writing something else, too. But it just can't come to me right now. So a murder mystery for Marvel, but I can't think of it. All right, so Amazing X-Men. Something I'm enjoying currently, actually, is I picked up Wolverine #1 last week.
Yes.
Written by Paul Cornell, and coming over from the Superior Spider-Man to Wolverine is Ryan Stegman. I love his art. Mm-hmm. He draws a real beastly Logan.
Absolutely.
I'm a huge fan of that kind of Logan. Just look at that. Look at that beard.
Old school Logan too.
Absolutely.
You know, deviates from the Hugh Jackman Logan that has just been popularized in the past decade.
Very true. So now we got a Logan who is without his healing abilities, and he's working for some kind of bad guy named Offer, who is making Logan an offer to help him get his healing powers back. Now, with this, we see a total shift in the way Wolverine has to fight. He can't just put himself out there anymore the way he used to, and it's going to be a cool thing to see what's going on with this in the future. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and even the cover, we got Wolverine with a gun. This shit you just not used to seeing, right? All right, yeah. So Wolverine. Last one for Marvel. I'm really digging right now. Is Superior Spider-Man. Now, I know a lot of people are split on this because a lot of people don't like Dan Slott for doing what he did. And it's a huge risk, taking out Peter Parker. Peter Parker, as a lot of people think, is like one of the superheroes in the 60s when he first came out, as a teenager. was able to draw in everybody because people were able to sympathize with him. It was someone around not our age. We're fucking our 20s now, but
Right.
but you know, when you're a kid,
The younger generation,
you can get into Peter Parker's shoes. Every kid's been bullied at some point. Every kid's been, you know, see a Mary Jane Watson walking by and you can't do anything about it.
Hey, Tiger.
Every guy's had a goblin throw their girlfriend off a bridge and break her neck, you know?
Oof.
Happens every day.
Just last Christmas, no. But yes, I totally agree with you. Superior Spider-Man is, it's you know, take what you want from it, Reed. Personally, I'm enjoying it. I like this
Goblin Nation?
I like this current Goblin Nation arc.
Yeah, well, you know, we got the last issue, spoilers for Superior Spider-Man, a little bit, just real quick.
Yeah.
Hobgoblin, Green Goblin, finally meeting up after it's been talked about sparingly in several issues. Now, finally meet up, have a little head-to-head. Norman basically wins, kills Hobgoblin. We find out that it's not the real Hobgoblin, that he's actually doing something else. It's, you know, this and that. But now, who we believe to be Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, is now taking over he has a giant gang, kind of, now they're calling themselves the Goblin Nation, going out into New York City, causing all kinds of problems for Otto Octavius.
Yeah.
And in this most recent issue, we find out that the Green Goblin does know that Otto has taken over the Peter Parker's body.
Right, and he's come up with the appropriate countermeasures for all the spider bots and Spidey Island that Superior Spider-Man has put in place. And
Yeah.
you know, we're seeing a real crisis moment for good old Otto right now.
Fucking Otto.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we see, because we know in April Peter is coming back because we're getting a relaunch line of Spider-Man #1. Same creative team with Slott and Ramos. So we know Peter's coming back. So these not really backups, but this kind of side arc, kind of B arc that's going on. We see Peter in his own mind with Otto Octavius, in which Octavius has erased a bunch of Peter's memories. And we see him trying to fight his way back, trying to regain some strength, because he lost a battle against Octavius way earlier. I think it was like number 11 in the arc. So, yeah, we're trying to see Peter get back into his body. We're seeing Otto fight the Green Goblin. It's a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah,
You know, and like I know,
interesting. It's much different take than Spidey we're used to.
yeah. So
No jokes cracked at all.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like, yeah. So definitely the dialogue that that Otto has compared to Peter it's much more proper vernacular.
Yeah.
He's it's Otto Octavius. He's a dickhead.
Dark gritty reboot.
Dark gritty reboot.
You know, since that's so popular nowadays, you know, why not take the most beloved wisecracker in all of comics history and turn him into a European super rationale-based like scientific
Turn him
juggernaut.
into a European super rationale based. All right, very good. All right. Now we're gonna take a moment. We're gonna talk about what is your favorite, absolute favorite. I haven't mentioned my favorite yet. Comic that is running right now. Now you can pick any one you want. This is your ultimate recommendation, Dan. This means a lot.
Oof.
This is your second podcast with us out of 4.
Oh,
You've been on
man.
half of these. These people trust your opinion.
They do. If you haven't watched Fast and Furious with Gal Gadot, go do it. I assure you. She owns a Ducati of her own. I literally meant it when I said that she looks great on a bike.
All right, she looks good on a motorcycle,
She looks good on a
Dan.
bike.
But are you recommending Ducatis to these people?
I am not recommending Ducatis to these people. I'm actually recommending Green Arrow for both the direction its story has gone and for its art. And it's just, oh man, it's amazing. Especially now that Jeff Lemire is bringing in the Outsiders, and you just see Ollie's conflict with these guys, and it's crazy. And some of the name drops that we've had.
Oh man.
And we've gotten a very key one from the show.
Oh yeah.
You know, good old
Diggle.
Yeah. Yeah, although albeit he's not as massive as I'm normally
as we're
used to
accustomed to him being.
but he's still pretty big.
He is.
And it's already been established.
That I'd marry him.
Yeah.
That's been established.
Yeah.
You're 100%. I agree. Green Arrow is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Lemire has done a lot of mythos building with Ollie, and he really took a book that was failing, and that first issue he takes out Q-Core, he gets rid of Oliver's fortune, and then has Komodo beat the shit out of him. And it just led to where we're at now with this Outsiders War and the different clans. And every issue we're getting to see a different clan show up. And all these new different dynamics in Ollie's life, these people he's dealing with. I don't want to spoil everything. I'm not that big of an asshole. So pick up Jeff Lemire Green Arrow. Absolutely recommended. I was actually going to pick that too. But you picked it first. All right. It's all right. It's all right. I'll pick something else.
Okay.
Maybe... I'll pick Green Arrow as my second favorite. I'll go with the general consensus, the top book that is being bought every month, and I'll go Scott Snyder Batman.
Yes, that's where I would expect you to go.
I'll go there. Green Arrow by Jeff Lemire is literally, I am holding my fingers together, so it's literally this far apart from Scott right now. But
they're both amazing pieces right now.
They are.
Absolutely fantastic.
With excellent artwork.
Oh, the artwork is to die for.
And the styles that both artists and use are way different than a lot of artists we see in the game today. You know what I mean? Andrea Sorrentino, I can't Sorrentino.
Mm-hmm.
He for Green Arrow, his style is so different than anything I'm used to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't even know the way to describe it, but the way he does battle scenes and fight scenes, it's incredible. It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
It has that dark, gritty feel. Like, since we brought up dark and gritty, it really is. Like, I think I'm no expert on art, but a lot of his lines, they seem like a little slightly blurred. So you get a sense of how just frenetic the action is.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
It just adds to the experience when you're just scanning panel to panel. It's fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. And then from there, we're talking about Greg Capullo on Batman, and we're talking 0 Year currently. And 0 Year, I remember when it was first announced around the beginning. It was around this time last year, and we knew that Scott was going to be reimagining the Batman's beginning, where Batman came in, and I would be nervous for him. I mean, shit, you got to go against Frank Miller,
right.
And Frank Miller is one of the Bat Gods,
yes.
And some year one is kind of like the holy Bible to some people for Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So to have to go against it in a way. 0 Year, I think Snyder and Capullo have stepped up their game immensely,
right.
And I love the redesigned first bat suit, the origin of the Red Hood gang, the Riddler. We get a reimagining of an old Batman villain, which is fantastic, and it allows Capullo to use his old Spawn kind of styles. His old horror comics.
That's right.
Snyder and Capullo both come for horror comic backgrounds. So when this character comes up, it so easily falls into place. It's just like they're so used to that type of thing.
Right. They really do complement each other.
They do, right? Snyder is not afraid to not afraid to go dark either. He goes very dark too. His Death of the Family arc was insanely dark. And his Joker was the Mark Hamill kind of jokey Joker with a mix of Heath Ledger, but at the same time was a mixture of the boogeyman, the scariest thing you've ever thought of. There was this line he says to Jim Gordon in which he's Jim, he says something to Jim that he shouldn't know, and Jim's like, "How do you know that?" And he's like, "'Cause I listen to your conversations under your bed every night." He's the itch you can't reach. He is man, that was a dark thing. And of course, if you ever read Scott's run Black Mirror, his Dick Grayson story, the last thing, that is an insanely dark story. So yeah, Snyder's Batman is my number one recommendation for comics right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and no ifs, ands, or buts. So Green Arrow, Scott Snyder, Batman. Go read Wolverine, Superior Spider-Man, Forever Evil. Man, we got you a good pull list this week. Great pull list. And Sex Criminals. Read Sex Criminals. I completely forgot about Sex Criminals.
Amazing.
The Wake. All kinds of stuff.
Amazing X-Men, if you want a pirate-themed comic.
Pirate-themed. The Return of Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
I'm in. Yeah. And I didn't even...
and another Valentine's relationship, right? Is that where you're going with it?
No, I was going to say that.
I
was going to say it's drawn by the artist, great Ed McGuinness. If you loved Ed McGuinness's run with Jeff Loeb on Batman Superman, he provides excellent art. So...
Ooh. Yes.
His art is not, I wouldn't say, like, he's got the giant chests and kind of big heads, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's Ed McGuinness. Yeah, so you were going to talk about V-Day?
Oh, yeah. There's important a romantic relationship explored in the third issue of Amazing X-Men. And it's one that I didn't see coming, you know. It's not one that's
there, you know? Yeah, exactly. Love that V-Day stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, we did comics. We talked a little romance. Let's talk a little something that we've touched upon. But, this is kind of a nostalgia show. You know, this is just kind of fun V-Day show. So, let's talk about some animated stuff.
Okay.
All right. And everyone knows that I love animation. I love all sorts of animation.
Right.
So let's talk about some of your favorite animated shows. What's your, if you had to pick, I know it's hard, if you had to pick the premier animation show, and we can take Batman the Animated Series out of it because we know it's great. I know it's great. You know it's great. We'll talk about it later. We'll save it for last.
Fair enough. That's
if you had to pick something else, what would you pick?
I myself am a big Batman Beyond fan.
Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis. So, the continuation of Batman the Animated Series. But,
yeah.
In a way, yeah.
All right. A different Batman. So
what do you like about this Bat? What do you like about Batman Beyond?
It's a more identifiable character because, you don't have the enigmatic Bruce Wayne under the cowl. I mean, he's still watching from the shadows. But you got the young, impetuous Terry McGinnis, running around doing his young, impetuous teenage stuff. And I mean, just growing up with it, it's like, this is the type of Batman. It's just like, oh man, if I was, under attack by some shape-shifting ink blob, like this is the type of Batman that,
I'm kind of getting a vibe here
appear
that the reason you like this Batman is because you got Bruce Wayne Batman, right? Mm-hmm. The Batman, right? And then you have the suit, and he's trained by Batman. It kind of sounds like you're imagining, like, if I was in that situation, I could be trained by Batman and become Batman, that kind of thing? That kind of fetish? Is that the idea?
Unfortunately, we all know that. There's no way that I could possibly come back.
You don't think you could train your body, your mind,
to
the absolute perfection?
Terry is a special case, though. He's not a Grayson, Drake, or Damian.
Yeah.
But he does,
Google, if you will.
He does have that potential groomed into him, both genetically and from his environment in general.
Yeah. And once again, Terry McGinnis born out of tragedy in a way.
Mm-hmm.
This Batman, he takes up the cause. The thing I loved about Batman the Animated Series is that they gave Terry his own rogues gallery. That they could have just kind of rehashed villains. Like, if someone takes the Batman persona, why doesn't someone just take the Riddler persona? And that they didn't do that. They kind of made those kind of villains maybe like an equal would be in Terry's race. So what villain did you like from that show?
Oh, well, I've already mentioned Ink, but oh man, let's see. Oh man, what? Oh, shoot.
You want me to go first, or
You can go first.
all right?
You can go first,
I was a big fan of Spellbinder.
Spellbinder, yes.
I really enjoyed
absolutely.
Spellbinder. You had with him a mixture of mind control, so you got a little Mad Hatter with I wouldn't say fear, but like he was a psychologist, so then you got the kind of Jonathan Crane vibe going on, and in that first episode you see Spellbinder, he's making people see illusions, right? Kind of thing, kind of Mysterio like in a way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's kind of having people see illusions. They think they're like in the jungle searching for this artifact, when in reality they're like in their own home stealing their goods for him, right? So he's making people see these things. Then the next time you see him, he's got those orbs that people get addicted to. I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting take about a future villain, like the way maybe a Scarecrow or a Mad Hatter would be in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I agree.
Do you know what
I agree.
I'm saying?
Especially their earlier encounters were a lot more significant, and there's a lot more on the line. Later ones, Spellbinder I feel was more used to explore some of the supporting characters.
Yeah.
In Batman Beyond.
Max.
Max, and there's someone else too.
Yeah, somebody else, who gives.
But I thought it was to a good effect. Like, we did learn a good deal about Max from that.
Yeah. What'd you think of Dana and Terry's relationship? They were very on and off again. You know what? I was watching an episode the other day. Terry was with Dana, but then that girl who was with the Royal Flush game came back and he was making out with her.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that was cheating?
Oh yeah.
Is Terry McGinnis a cheater? That's what we want to know.
He totally is. Like he would definitely put it in wherever he has the opportunity to.
Just like Will Friedle, who plays him.
Right. Which is
Boy Meets World, we're unstoppable.
Yeah. Which is what I guess makes Dana a really unrealistic person. Like, she's very understanding, very patient, very forgiving. It's just like
he constantly misses everything she wants him to be at.
Yeah.
Doesn't question it. She's just like, oh, he's working for Bruce Wayne. She is the most understanding girlfriend that does not exist in real life.
And then you find out that she spent 20 years, literally 20 years, just being left like teetering on a cliff in terms of her relationship.
She spends more times at the club as a in a relationship girl. I don't know what the hell to say.
Right.
As anyone I've ever seen in my life. She's always dancing at the fucking club and shit without
and she only
Terry.
has that one dress, you know.
That one dress, yeah. They never changed her wardrobe.
No, they didn't.
You think they would? You know?
I mean,
maybe if Dana changed her wardrobe once in a while, Terry would show the fuck up.
Yeah. Very true.
All right, okay. You never told me your favorite villain, by the way. I guess we're just going to take that shit to the grave.
No, not at all. I finally remembered it. It's Mad Stan. Do you remember Mad Stan?
Mad Stan.
He's a conspiracy theorist that always tries to bring down the institution by blowing up random stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like the database.
All right, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And, oh, man, Mad Stan was just great, you know, especially when Zeta came back to town.
Zeta.
Yeah.
You know they tried a spin-off series with Zeta? The last 8 episodes?
I think.
Mike Rosenbaum did one of the voices on there.
Really?
Michael Rosenbaum, man. Fucking Wally West.
Yeah. He's big. He's a pretty big man. I'd like to see him come back in another DC animated film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good pick. All right, so you picked Batman Beyond. My favorite animated show, besides Batman the Animated Series. God, I want to say Justice League. I want to see Justice League Unlimited, but I gotta go with Young Justice.
Oh, yes.
Young Justice was the... I can't even... Words can't describe how much this show meant to me. It gave us a chance to really explore the idea of the sidekick, what they want to be. and like how they want to be different from the Justice League in a way. And what we get in the first season, we get Robin and Aqualad and Wally West, and they come together and form what they call the Team. Of course, we never give the team a name, but they just call themselves the Team.
Well, the team is always changing, too.
The team is always changing, and that's it. And we got to see these sidekicks. Well, they weren't sidekicks anymore. These heroes, these so-called lesser heroes, go out and fight. We saw them fight the big guns. We saw them going against Bane. We saw them going against Vandal Savage. We saw them going. It had every part. Every nook and cranny of the DC universe was in it. The entire Justice League was on the show regularly. And that's what. But they weren't the focal point. It was the younger generation. We get to see what they do and how they train and their interrelationships. And then season 2, we get the time jump. And once again, Superman Wonder Woman complex here. I was like, shit, what the fuck happened between this and this? I want to know. And the time jump may have been the best thing they did. I think it was awesome to see Dick almost instantaneously turn into Nightwing, and we see a larger team and a bigger universe building. They even bring a cosmic element into it.
Right.
Spoilers, Warworld. And that kind of stuff. And it had everything that you would want as a DC comic fan, or as a comic fan in general who just loves. It had action, had romance.
Lots of romance.
Romance.
Dick, as usual.
Dick getting a lot of action going around.
Not a lot of redheads, though. They didn't really focus on his relationship.
Barbara did come in later, though.
But they didn't really.
They did a little bit.
A little bit.
She trolled him a couple times.
No, it was.
But we get Artemis and Wally, Spitfire, if you will. We get
McGann and Lagoon Lad.
Lagoon Boy. Oh God! For all the good that was in Young Justice, we get Lagoon Boy a little bit, and Lagoon Boy was the bane of that show's existence.
The episode where he almost dies. By that time, we were pretty much rooting for him to get killed off.
Oh yeah, he had the worst catchphrases. I think that's one of the other thing about Young Justice.
Spear.
Come on, guppies. Everybody on that show had a catchphrase, or like they had a thing they'd always be talking about. Like Dick would always be talking about. Can you be whelmed, or can you have to be overwhelmed or underwhelmed?
Right.
Or if you take the dis off a disaster, is that a good thing? So you always say, feeling the aster.
Right.
Feel the aster.
We had to play on words, Robin.
Play on words, Robin.
Yeah.
He was a real genius.
He was.
Then you got fucking Lagoon Boy with his catchphrases. But then, I don't know if it's just green people in general, but Megan Morse was the most annoying character on the show. She was so powerful.
What examples do you have?
I'm just saying Lagoon Boy and her.
Lagoon Boy was more cyan, but I see where you're getting. But
I hope any green people listening aren't offended.
Right.
There's a lot of green people out there, man.
I guess I'm more yellow than green, but let's not even dive into that.
The green people. Yeah, but McGann, she causes so many problems. What I like the show most though for is their introduction to a new Aqualad with Calderon, and the former Aqualad is on the show. Garth is on the show, but we get a new iteration, and he has an interesting background. You find out all about it on the show. He also has a little love interaction for a little bit there.
He does.
Yeah, with another teammate. It's just it's
with
like
another teammate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with her too, but with a teammate too. Oh yeah, whatever. We're not going to spoil anything for you, but definitely highly recommend Young Justice.
Kudos to DC for quickly writing new Aqualad into canon very soon after the premiere of the show.
They did, but the cancellation by Cartoon Network on that show, the way the show ended, I'm telling you, if you've seen it, everyone who's seen it knows that last final image. I'm going to spoil it right now, so skip like 10 seconds ahead. We see Vandal Savage shake hands with Darkseid and say, it's just begun. So we're going to see those two things meeting up, and We'll never get to see it, but what we did get to see was amazing while it was on, and I think those 46 episodes. There's only 46. Yeah, there's only 53 Batman the Animated Series. There's 86. Why do I know these numbers?
86 Batman Beyond episodes?
There's 53 Batman Beyonds, 86 Batman Animated Series. All right, Marvel series as a kid I loved were Spider-Man the Animated Series and X-Men the Animated Series.
Which X-Men? Which X-Men?
Or which one are you referring to?
I'm thinking about the one where they were all in high school. That was the one I grew up with.
Oh, you like that one?
Well,
I liked the 1990s X-Men that was based off the Jim Lee drawings from the early 90s. They kind of used the Jim Lee designs.
Right. Oh, yeah. I know which ones you're talking about.
And it sometimes had crossovers with the Spider-Man the Animated Series. I know they did a mutant story with Spider-Man where he grew... it's the same in the comics when he was growing those extra arms and actually becoming a Spider-Man. Because in a way, Spider-Man is a mutant, you know?
Yes.
So, and Logan came in, and then Punisher came in. I like Punisher showing up. That was interesting, Frank Castle. All right, so I don't even know about this high school one. What do you tell me about that?
X-Men Evolution?
No, I never watched that.
It was one where the majority of the team actually did double duty as students. They more so used the Xavier's Institute for Gifted Students, more of a dormitory actually. And then they received their fight training with Aurora and Logan and Xavier. Those were the big three, faculty members there. But they also, they were all in high school too, and they had their typical high school drama. You had
the young
shy Kurt Wagner. Finally, Kurt Wagner. It's his very first appearance on the show. Xavier gives him a bracelet to hide the blue. So he's like, "Oh man, I'm not blue anymore." That's an awful impression.
I can hide my blue.
But he's just and Magnitude? No, that's not his name. Size.
Juggernaut?
Not.
Seismotron?
Who are you? I don't remember his name, but he was a love interest for Rogue, I believe.
Oh, well, yeah, I can't think. I haven't seen the show.
He had the most ridiculous costume ever. He was dressed up as a condom. So... and he can control earthquakes. He can control the...
Alright. Alright. So, I like it. Alright. To finish this beautiful Valentine's Day show. Been very mellow, very nostalgic.
Lots of nostalgia.
Daniel, Danny boy, who was your, as a kid, superhero, supervillain, no judgment here, crush? It could be animated, it could be comic book related, it could be in the movies, or it doesn't even have to be childhood, it could be current. Current superhero, supervillain crush. Who doth you wished Cupid's arrow would strike?
I would probably say Hawkgirl in the old school Justice League. Growing up.
Shayera, huh?
Shayera, I was a big Shayera fan growing up.
That mace turned you on?
No, more the nth metal, But
what'd you like about Shayera? Why Shayera? Redhead?
Yes.
Got a little Dick Grayson?
Definitely the redhead. Definitely have a dick,
Little dick in you?
Little dick to show,
Got a little dick in you?
No, she's just real badass,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, she wasn't really touched upon as much.
She wasn't really touched on.
She really touched on, except by Bruce.
Except by Batman when he sings to her.
Am I blue? A great episode, by the way. Great episode.
That is.
And
we get to hear Kevin Conroy's vocal talents.
Yeah.
Singing wise. Wow. So my fucking. Man, why do I need
You gotta love Zatanna in that episode, too. For all you Zatanna fans out there.
I do love Zatanna.
I know there's a lot of you out there.
Zatanna is awesome. Dick and Zatanna on Justice. But then on Batman the Animated Series, you had Bruce and Zatanna.
Oh, shoot.
Do you think
Batman Beyond, you had Bruce and Batgirl, too.
So, alright, so with all this correlation, Bruce and Dick have to be Eskimo Bros by now, right?
Oh, easily. Easily. Zatanna, Batgirl.
Here's a question. Do you think Bruce, Dick, and Alfred are all Eskimo Bros?
Alfred.
Do you think Alfred gets any of the, like, ass?
Earth 1 Alfred, yes.
Earth 1 Alfred definitely does.
Current, old school, you know, Michael Gough.
Michael Gough, oh my god!
Would you like to come here about some secrets? Quoting a little, I know we're not supposed to quote it, but...
Yeah, no, that's fun.
He who shall not be named.
Voldemort! Fucking Voldemort.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But yes, to answer your question, yes, they are definitely Eskimo Bros, except for the Michael Gough version.
Oh, Michael Gough. Alfred, all of them, yeah. Okay, so my crush. My superhero crush. God, it's so hard to decide. You know what I mean? When I was a kid growing up, you know, I watched all those animated shows, and that's what really got me into comics. So if I had to pick who really, you know, was my real fire starter, I'd have to probably say I loved Rogue on X-Men. I loved the Jim Lee design with the hair.
With the hair and the flight.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And she
was really powerful in that show.
Yeah, I loved that. And, alright, so that closes this long and nostalgic and sexually tense episode.
Heavily infused.
I'm
still gazing into your eyes, by the way.
I know.
For all those who can't see this, Christian has very beautiful eyes.
Dan is minorly aroused by my eye color.
I'm starting to swell.
Alright, thanks for listening, everybody, alright? And have a good Valentine's Day weekend, President Day weekend, and may the odds ever be in your favor.